Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Sunday, January 12th, around 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 2025. Major snow is coming to the Great Lakes region, especially parts of central New York. And we've got, snow for the entire region as we move through January, and we are tracking a deadly fire in LA as the death toll climbs to 24. Keep calm, it's boom time. The death toll from the Palisades and Eaton fire climbs to 24. The number of confirmed deaths and devastating Palisades and Eaton fires jumped to 24 on Sunday. 8 of those deaths are from the Palisades fire and 16 from the Eaton fire. The reason we've got in that data on the 8 deaths in the Palisades fire is now recovery crews are now moving through that region, and we expect the death toll to rise far above 24. And this is all the while as Gavin Newsom is facing new funding scrutiny. And funding scrutiny, indeed, he should face. Here is a quick look at what's going on in California. Currently, we've got 4 California fires. A new one has been put on the list here, the Horseshoe Fire. The Horseshoe Fire has been burning for 73 days, far away from LA, and is really not our concern. The main concern is the Palisades Fire. It is the largest fire in the LA County Fire District. 23,700 acres burned so far. It's been burning for 5 days. Just 11% contained. Mandatory evacuations are in effect as looters have now flooded the scene. The Eaton fire, the second largest fire in the region, is now 27% contained. 14,117 acres burned. This baby is not out. The third fire that remains in the LA County area is the Hearst Fire, which is now 90% contained, and hopefully no flare-ups will continue. But the bad news is that all of this region will be in red flag warnings for the next several days. So these fires in no way are going out. They're simply going to be questioned, and questioned indeed. As Gavin Newsom is facing new funding scrutiny as far as the fire department goes, people have been arrested around the region for arson now. The Kenneth fire is blamed on arson, and maybe many of these other fires can be blamed solely on blowtorches. Can you believe that? On top of that, we've got looters that have moved into the region, and at least a dozen people have been arrested, including one impersonating a firefighter. Let me give you the memo. If you are impersonating as a firefighter in any of these evacuation zones or curfew zones, you're going to be arrested and, they're going to stick it to you. Trust me. More snow is possible Sunday all day and a cold snap to start Monday. This is for the northern plains, the upper Midwest, and even central New York and the Great Lakes region. Ohio is going to see some snow as well. Let's take a look at the snowfall analysis over the last 24 hours. This is as of this morning. That eastern storm moved offshore, and as of 6 a.m., we have up to 6 or more inches in the Appalachians in the West Virginia region. Also, snow falling in the northeast as the storm made its way offshore. More snow coming from Minnesota. Say it ain't soda. But as of 6 a.m. this morning, 6 inches were on the ground for a wide swath. And we've got several feet of snow up in western Montana. And, the snow will continue for the west and especially for the east as we move through January. We'll have those snowfall models up in just a second. But first, the full forecast. Critical fire weather continues for the coast of Southern California as an Arctic blast will chill the east. Critical fire weather conditions will continue for coastal and Southern California through Wednesday. due to moderate to locally strong Santa Ana winds. Red flag warnings are in effect and marked on the map. A fresh Arctic blast will encompass much of the eastern half of the U.S. through the middle of the week before milder temperatures briefly return by week's end. But that is just an Indian summer, as the temperatures will rapidly drop by January 20th, quelling all hopes of global warming. Heavy lake effect snow is expected in the Great Lakes for the entire span of the event. First, let's come over and take a look at the MLS precip plus frozen. You'll see here for the next few days, it's going to be pretty quiet for the U.S. A brief severe weather threat for Louisiana and the southern tier there coming in the next 8-12 hours, but that will be short-lived. Small clipper will bring flurries to some regions in the northeast and the east, but nothing significant here until the weekend ensues here. Saturday and into Sunday, heavy weather will develop along a front here that has cold air behind it and heavy snow associated. And that will be Saturday, January 18th, the 19th, and into the 20th. There's the model. And then a secondary system here, the 21st and the 22nd, may move up the East Coast and bring heavy snow, to South Carolina. Let's take a look at the total snowfall accumulated for the event, shall we? Shut up, Al! Get in your hole! Al Gore says it doesn't snow anymore. But he couldn't be further from the truth. Look at this GFS forecast. Holy macaroni. This is a coastal storm that could bring some epic totals, but we are far out on the map. That snow is showing up here 21st and the 22nd. Still about 10 days out. These models will change. Hopefully, that system will move inland and we will bring a wide berth of the nor'easter for the U.S. But the current models that move out here through the 19th are probably pretty accurate. So heed the warnings. Heavy lake effect snow, some spattering of snow for the east, and system after system coming in on the west. The bad news is that the southeast here is a dry hole. Let's look at total accumulated precipitation. Not a single drip of rain is predicted for the LA region anytime soon. A 6.2 earthquake jolted southwestern Mexico earlier today, thankfully causing no damage or casualties. I was wondering if that information would change, but it has not. The 6.2 happened at a depth of 34 kilometers. It was on the land here, so it wasn't offshore. Might have been a heavily unpopulated region, and it looks to be so here in the state of Michoacan. Overall activity worldwide, low-level activity, no quakes of note. The most recent one is of note, popping off here in Ecuador, 5.1. Although this was so deep, nobody felt that, baby. Normal activity worldwide, no quakes of note, except perhaps maybe this 4.44 in Norway. So, how do you like them apples? Worldwide volcano news, a short list today. We've got Santa Guito to 13,000 feet first to kick off the list. Chivaluch to 14, Popo to 19, Fuego to 17, Liwatobi to 9, Santa Guito to 13,000 feet. Reventador volcanic ash admitted. Semaru, who knew, now you do 14,000 foot. Kilauea, the eruption there has remained halted but still glowing. Conleon, an eruption today to 9,000 feet, had villagers running earlier today. No deaths have been reported. Semaru to 14,000 feet, Fuego to 14, Ibu to 15, Reventador, new volcanic ash there. And wrapping up the list is White Island today with weak low elevation ash to 3,000. Space weather is looking paltry, but kicking up a notch in the last 3 to 6 hours, almost reaching the M range just moments ago. But the big news is Comet Atlas making an appearance in coronagraph imagery, including LASCO's C3 field of view, and it will be visible for the next several days. Let's take a look. Here we are over at LASCO C3, and take a look at Comet Atlas. Now, it's going to be about another 2 days before it makes its entire transition here across the field of view, and it is quite a large comet. Take a look at the oversaturation here. One of the brightest objects I've ever seen on LASCO C3. If you guys have seen a brighter object than this, I mean, Comet Ison back in 2014 wasn't this bright. This baby is quite the spectacle. I can imagine how many thousands of videos are on the internet claiming this is the mothership or something ridiculous like that. Leave a comment below if you've seen one of those accounts. And we've got amazing news. SpaceX will launch 2 private lunar landers this week, kicking off a busy year for the moon boom missions. There are so many missions flying to the moon this year, it's a moon boom. And they have to fit 2 missions on one single rocket. Well, that might also have to do with the cost of bringing objects into orbit. 2 private lunar landers are set to launch this week aboard the same rocket, kicking off a busy year of missions on the moon. A 6-day window for the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket launching the missions begins early Wednesday morning on January 15th, with liftoff scheduled for 1:11 a.m. Eastern from the Launch Complex 39B at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The Falcon 9 will carry both landers to Earth orbit, where each will begin independent trajectories towards the moon. Ghost Riders in the Sky, the mission for Firefly Aerospace Blue Ghost Mission 1 lunar lander, is part of NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services, a program to deliver scientific payloads to the surface of the moon. The second lander, Resilience, comes from Japan, a based company, iSpace. And its second mission, the company has flown in an attempt to land on the moon. The first one, not so good. But iSpace's mission 2 will deploy after Blue Ghost and will take about 4 times longer to complete its mission. So cross your fingers. It's been decades, half a century, and we're still trying to get back to the moon. And there is more amazing space stuff happening in just about 24 hours. Mars will meet the Wolf Moon. And that is happening tomorrow. And it's pretty simple to observe, especially if you're in North America. If you're excited to see the Wolf Moon this week, the first full moon of 2025, you're in for a treat because the planet Mars will be visible in the night sky right next to it. Tomorrow night, January 13th, if you step outside around 1930 UTC and look to the east, you will see the full moon rising higher and higher in the night sky. Just below and to the left of the moon will be a red star, which is the planet Mars. And in fact, not a star, but a planet. So good job, BBC. But I do digress. So Mars and the moon will get closer and closer throughout the night, tomorrow night, climbing higher in the sky together and heading towards the southeast as midnight approaches. And then the occultation will occur as Mars moves behind the moon in a moon boom and eventually emerges on the other side. Fantastic night ahead tomorrow. And guys, if you didn't know, you can support the channel by becoming a Patreon. Patreons pay a fat fee for an annual membership or a monthly membership pledge, and you get to watch all of our podcasts in one place, commercial free. It's much cheaper than YouTube Premium or anything like that. For just $1 a month, $12 a year, or I think even less, you can watch all of our podcasts on all of our platforms in one place right here. So please support our channel, support the work we do, and keep this work moving forward. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. That's another way you can help making this work move forward. More subscribers, more attention, and more views. That's what we're looking for. We want to get this information out to the masses. We love each and every one of you. Be safe. And that is a boom.